Welcome back to Duckman Cycles and VW Garage. I'm your host, the Duckman. We're back today with my 1956 Volkswagen Beetle Oval. And if you're just joining us for the first time, this car was completely restored from a mess that was submerged under 6 feet of seawater during Hurricane Ivan. So the car was completely clapped out, rotted out, rusted. There was not much left of it. So I put the car back together with what I had available to me, because chopping up another 1956 Oval or equivalent, or finding parts for one when somebody could be restoring one in perfect condition, wasn't my cup of tea. So I put the car back together the way I wanted to see it. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get it straight, so I made it crooked on purpose, and that's why we're looking at the awesome Chop Top that she is today. This is Eleanore. Okay, what we've got down below here is we got this pan chassis that I've been working on, and I've been slowly but surely upgrading the rear end here to Porsche trailing arms, which are from a Porsche 944. There's a trailing arm over there, and it's going to go in this position here, and I've also installed the Porsche spring plate. Now, in the last couple videos, I had to make some clearance to make sure that the bolts that stick out the backside of the spring plates don't hit the shock tower. So what I did was I cut a hole in it, and then on the other side I welded it all together and boxed it all in. So the shock tower should be strong, and I've got a couple ideas to further strengthen that. And I ordered some more parts, which we'll have in an upcoming video. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear apart this side next over here and make it to look just like that. And once I've got that all squared away, then we're going to put a little bit of paint on it, and then we're going to do the proper installation to put this all together. So anyways, first thing I need to do, of course, is remove that axle and take the wheel off, get the thing jacked up. And currently I've got a dolly under that side, and that was really nice. That's where I was able to roll it out of the garage while it only has 3 wheels. That made it a lot more convenient to push it in and out of the garage rather than putting the whole damn thing back together again. Out of the question. That would be just too much work. If you're watching my videos and you're not subscribed, you should be. Go ahead and click that little subscribe button. Click like on this video. Give me a comment. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you guys are up to. Let me know what you guys think of my project. You know, tell me about what you got here. And what the hell is that on top of my car? May wonders never cease. That's actually my baby powder, which I put on my balls when I'm working outside. What is that doing up there? Somebody must have picked it up and put it there so it didn't get run over. Okay, well, I got my ball powder, just in case I need it. It's actually a very beautiful day here in Florida today. It's about 90 degrees, but the humidity's low, and there's an actual really nice breeze. You can see the tree kind of blowing there. I got to open up the back door in the garage way back there, so that way the breeze comes through the garage. That's one good thing about this garage, is it always seems to capture the air, blows right through. Oh yeah, I'd also like to remind you, I've got a Facebook page, so head on over to Facebook, type in Duckman Cycles and VW Garage, and click the join button on the group. You'll find a discussion on this project as well as any of the others, and anything else that you guys want to share, you know, technology related, you know, whether you have an old Volkswagen, or if you have something funny you just want to share, you know, share it up. Let's talk about it. Thanks for watching, you guys, and here comes the intro. Axle is out. Remove the trailing arm and spring plate. Now this is the side over here that came off on the way to the car show last year. So I had to replace the studs that were screwed into the wheel adapter with some bolts that I had available at the time, because I didn't have any more studs that screw into the adapter. These are special Volkswagen alloy studs. They're extra long with a smaller head to get easier into the bolt hole in the wheel. I really should have some tape wrapped around this socket so I don't scratch up these wheels, but I don't. Now behind here you're going to find, if I'm not mistaken, the drum, rear drum from the Type 3. I just needed a drum to put on, and the Type 3 one was available. Because if you remember correctly, several videos back on the Type 3 I upgraded to rear discs. So this drum was readily accessible and was real easy to slide on there, because the rear discs actually came off of this car. That was the CB Performance rear disc kit I used to actually have on here before I decided to upgrade to the rear Porsche stuff. So yeah, that's why that's on there. And there's that ugly wheel adapter. This is the one that the studs pulled out of, and if you look at the threads, you can actually see on the outside here that they're kind of mangled. Down deep they're good, which is why I had to use those long bolts, so they threaded all the way in. Alright, that's good. I gotta pop off the spring plate next. Those would be the bolts that are way over here. Alright, you didn't get to see it on camera, but I've already got the nuts removed from the back side of these things. Trying to do this with the camcorder up in my face. And the entire trailing arm should go free. And there it is, freedom. This is actually how you would raise or lower your Beetle. You would take the trailing arm off on an IRS model. Take the trailing arm off. In a swing axle model, you're actually going to remove the, what do they call that? That's the swing axle tube, which goes back to the transmission this way and has the 3 bolts in it just like this. Same pattern as a matter of fact, but this arm is longer. It actually extends to about here. Got these out. This cover over here is what holds in the torsion bar bushings. Once I've got this off, the entire spring plate will pop right on out of there. So we're going to move these next and we'll pull that all apart. Okay. Now this cover and the spring plate will probably come out as one piece. There it is. And as a matter of fact, the torsion bar came out with it too, and that's not a problem. Just lay that right up here and out of the way. Okay, our cover is off. Now up in here you see the area that we're going to have to cut out. Looks exactly the same as the other side, except it's a mirror image. Okay, I'm also going to drop off the trailing arm, which has the bolt up here. The little pivot point bolt up here is also going to come out. So I'll remove that too, drop this whole thing and put it in a safe place. Because we're not going to be using this for this car anymore. And I discovered recently, though, that these are actually quite valuable. I might actually get a couple pennies for it. So we'll see what we're going to do with that. I have a whole pile of them in the yard, so I have no problem selling a few of them off. Now this bolt is interesting. I have not had much luck using just a small Allen key on it. I've had much more luck using a socket. And because of its awkward angle, I have to actually push the socket, which has the Allen key end on it. By the way, it's 17 millimeter. Push that in all the way. Then you take the square drive on the ratchet. Make sure you're set to loosen. And put it in as far as you can get it, not all the way. If you put it in all the way, as you back it out, it's actually going to back the ratchet into the torsion tube, and you won't be able to get the tool off, which means you can't get the bolt out. So this way, I can... Come on. Here we go. Get it turning. And sometimes these get stuck, because they're in a spot where the weather can get to them. So expect them to be a little bit rusty, and it's really hard to get lube in there. But these, I've had these out before, so getting them broken free is not too big of a deal in this case. Okay, there it is, ready to come out. Pull off the socket. There's 2 washers behind here that come out too. Make sure you save the 2 washers, one of them just fell in. Both the washers here. Put them in a safe place for the moment. Pull out your trailing arm. And now that your trailing arm is out, take your bolt, take your washers, push it back into place, just so you don't lose any parts. There we go. Perfect for safekeeping. Okay, down on the bottom you have a late model Beetle spring plate. And this is from 69 and up Beetles, whether it be a standard Beetle or a super Beetle. This is what the spring plate looks like. The one above it is a 944 spring plate, and you can see the adjustment bolts in it. You can also see the addition of the hole here in the middle, which is different than the one here, which on the Volkswagen one actually doesn't do, well, much of anything, because it doesn't align with the hole at all. It's in the trailing arm. But on the 944 one, this is actually the bolt that you'd use for affecting your toe-in. Allows your wheels in the back to get them straight when you do your alignment service. And this big hole here in the front is actually used to get your camber set. There's a special bolt that goes in that hole, and I have one on order right now. I haven't received it yet, but we're going to cover that in a late video after these things are all installed. But the diameter of this sucker and the length of them, including the splines that are on the inside for the torsion bar, are identical between the 944 and the late model Beetle. So the beautiful news is that this sucker bolts right on, with exception of those bolts that are on the backside don't clear the shock tower, which is why I have to cut a notch out of this and make that work. Guess what time it is? Oh! I'm starting to hear a little bit of thunder off in the north direction here. I looked at the radar and it looks kind of crappy up that direction. So we're probably going to get a little rain. I don't know how soon, but it's coming. It's certainly coming. But I'm going to continue cutting away at this thing, and hopefully I get the patch welded in. It's coming along a lot faster than the other side did. But you know, once you do one side, you gain a lot of experience. Getting a good look at it here, you'll probably notice that I cut away a lot. Shit, helps if I don't crash into the wall while drinking my rum. I cut away a whole lot less material this time. And the reason is having the experience after having hit the other side, I discovered exactly how far those bolts that are on the back of that spring plate here are actually going to protrude into this cover. So rather than coming up here and doing a 90 degree, I left this 45. That's just fine. I left this extra inch of metal here on the bottom. I did not have to remove that, but I did on the other side. That was not necessary to go away. I actually cut up into here at a different angle. This hole is actually complete. The only reason there's a little nick out of the bottom of it is because that was where I put the Sawzall blade in to cut down. But that's where we're at on this one. I have to dig into it about 1/4 of an inch to make sure the bolts clear this area. And then once that's done, it's a matter of building the backing plate that goes on here, on the backside, and getting it all welded in, and then throwing a little bit of anti-rust phosphoric acid over the whole thing. And then the next video, of course, after that would be get it painted. Ooh, that rum is good. Oh man, that rum and cola. It's a Tuesday afternoon. I don't know when you guys get to see this video. It might be Tuesday night, it might be Wednesday night. It all depends on how quickly I get it uploaded. It's about 90 degrees, but the humidity is unusually low, considering we got a storm coming. When the storm comes, the humidity is going to go way up. But here in Florida, this is just a beautiful day. I mean, beautiful day. But I am so glad that I have that drink to sit along with me here while I'm working on this stuff. If anything, that rum actually helps me to be a little more creative. And as long as I don't have too much of it and do something really stupid. But it helps me be a little creative, and I go a little above and beyond and take a little more of a risk than I normally would on some of my projects. And things usually turn out a little more interesting when I'm done. You know, when I look at it the next day with a clear mind, waking up in the morning, and I realize what I did, I'm like, you know, that was kind of a good idea, and I don't know that I would have come up with that on my own. But, yep, a lot of projects. There's my cup. It's too far away. Oh, come on, use the force, Luke. Ah, nope, it ain't coming over here. So very happy, feeling so very good, continuing to cut and weld. We'll see how much of this I get done. Tonight we have a Volkswagen Club meeting, and I'm going to mention it real quickly in this video, and I'll probably cover a little more extensively in the next video, but I actually built a website for the local Volkswagen Club, the Rare Air Emerald Coast Volkswagen Club of Northwest Florida. We have a website, rareairvw.com. I'll put the link right here. It'll also be down in the video description. And I put up a brand new website pertaining to our club. And it's about all things Volkswagens, mostly air-cooled, but we do have some water-cooled guys that are in the club. And on that website will also be integrated our show registration. So you can hit up the show registration here and get your car registered. So if you're in the Pensacola area around the weekend of October 20th of 2018, you want to make sure that you get your Volkswagen registered for the show. And get that sucker over there. I mean, I will be there with Eleanore. Eleanore will be there for sure. This is the reason why I'm pushing this thing so hard right now and trying to get this thing done. Or at least some level of completion so I can get it to the show. You'll have an opportunity to meet me. You'll have an opportunity to see this car. And you'll have an opportunity to meet a lot of other really cool people that have Volkswagens. So check out Rare Air Emerald Coast. Oops, so let's try that again. Let's try it. So check out rareairvw.com, and you'll see the website that I actually put together. And that's actually what I do for a living. I do IT, I do web design, I do web programming, and the show registration portion of it, which hopefully will be launched in the next day or two, is all programmed by me. And we're going to have an electronic judging system. So that way all of the show results will appear on the website, and it'll all be handled digitally. So no more of the actual counting ballots and doing math and all the other nonsense. The website does all of the hard stuff for us. So those of our judges that are using a smartphone will be able to walk around, look at the car, you know, check out the little boxes and make the scoring, take a picture of the car, and it gets uploaded to the website. So that's something we've got going for this October for the Rare Emerald Coast show. So anyway, we're just going to continue chopping away at this thing. Let's see where we wind up at. I'm going to turn the fan back on and stay nice and cool. It's working out really good with the nice dry air that we have today, and there's an awful lot of metal shavings there on the floor. Now, while I really haven't talked about is I actually run a magnet through those, and I've been picking them up and throwing them into a peanut butter jar. And I've actually got about 3 peanut butter jars in the garage that I need to pour all together. Whenever I work on this project, boy oh boy, that rum is really working. I shave the shavings. I save the shavings. So that way I can go ahead and put it all in a jar and put it on display with Eleanore at the car show. So that way you can see just what I've cut off the car and, you know, how much of the car is still original that'll be sitting in that jar. Even though technically this chassis is, I believe, from a 75. It's not for a 56 Beetle, but we're making it work so I can have the best of both worlds. An early styled car with the proper handling suspension of an later car, upgraded with Porsche rear suspension parts. That's what all this nonsense is over here that we're going to have installed in here. That's the reason why I'm making this video. So anyways, I'm going to get back on this and let's see where we turn up at next before we have to start wrapping up. Anyway, I just about got that done, but it started raining. So I think I'm going to go ahead and park this because it's looking a little worse on the radar. So we're going to slow down and just put everything away. My welder right now is getting rained on, and that's really not too good for it. So I'm just going to park everything today. I'm going to put everything away. I'm going to start over again tomorrow. Please go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Give me those thumbs up. That really matters big to me. Please pluck that little dingle belly down there next to the subscribe button. And please check out my Facebook group. You can hit up Facebook and type in Duckman Cycles VW Garage. And go ahead and join the group. And I'll approve of your joining as fast as I can. We'll get in there as soon as you can. We'll discuss this project and maybe some of the others. Maybe even this moped. Maybe even a doodle bastard, which is buried over there. I need to get on that this week, because that is also going to the car show where Eleanore is going to. So, I'm keeping my rum in the headlight. How about that? Good rum holder. So thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you again next time.